Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Real Podcast. I'm your host, David Moya. Today, we have Chris Mannerino on the show. Chris, thanks for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so Chris is a very unique guy. He's a very unique individual. We had an opportunity to interview him in January as part of a project for Pacific Sotheby's International Realty. And fantastic guy. Everybody who I know that talks about you in a positive way. You were Realtor of the Year in 2016. I think you're a fantastic photographer, and I know you are pretty much a world-renowned photographer, which is really cool. Bring a new perspective to real estate. And you guys are doing about $20 to $30 million a year in sales, which is fantastic. So you definitely are a top producer, and I thank you for being on the show. You can shed some light on what's going on in the marketplace today.
Sure, I'd love to. Thank you.
But real quick, what got you into real estate?
Well, I was a bartender for many years, and I just kind of felt that my talents were being wasted. There was a cocktail waitress who she became a realtor, and I saw her starting to become successful, and I thought to myself, you know what, I can do this too. I can do it better. And so I got into it in 2014. So
nice.
Yeah, and from there it was it was kind of a challenge in the sense of it was a red hot market and trying to learn everything that I knew. I mean, I could sell you a steak, but I mean, could I sell you a house? So a lot of it was overcoming my own self-doubt and fears, and just working through that.
Nice, and I love talking about mindset and all that and psychology. So how did you overcome those fears? How did you overcome those doubts? Or maybe it was just the process?
It was the process. It was also the training. Training was crucial. I figured I wanted to go with the top name that had a great brand and great training. Figured if I get the training, I can go anywhere. Now, what helped propel me into my success was a book called Maximum Achievement by Brian Tracy. This book just really spoke to me. Once I got done with the book, I felt invincible, and then I reread it again and felt even more invincible. And so,
what's it called?
Called Maximum Achievement by Brian Tracy. It is. I can't recommend that book enough. I mean, I wish I got royalties for as much as I recommend it out to people, but I think all agents should have to read that, especially when you're starting out. It really, really is very impactful on your mindset and how you just go through life, not just real estate, but just life in general.
Yeah. Well, you clearly have a great skill for delivering, really exceptional service. The way you carry yourself, the way you talk, you communicate very effectively. I know when we interviewed you, you had a lot of great information. You answered the questions really, really, really nicely. So how would you say that real estate for you grew into a passion?
Just the more and more I became aware of how to sell, it became easier. I mean, I kind of equated it like trying to push a train up to the top of a hill, and the more I got comfortable with myself and selling, the easier, I wouldn't say easier, but it became a lot clearer to me that this is something I can do. And it just really stuck out to me that how much I enjoy helping people.
Yeah. Now you get to do that every day.
Yeah. Yes, sometimes more than I want to, but yeah, this job is you're a jack of many trades, and psychologist, I guess, is one of them.
Of course, yeah. I mean, you're like everything and anything for your client. Meaning, like, I know agents will go and clean a house if they have to, or go and buy roses to stage the property, or in your case, you developed a whole new skill because you felt like the photography that you were getting was not exactly the way you wanted it to. So now you've developed a skill that really is a value add for your clients.
Yeah, which it was funny. So I got into photography about 4 years ago, just because I got tired of paying for photographers to come out for a 1-bedroom condo that's vacant. or a house is going to get torn down. Now, high-end listings, absolutely, I'll hire it out all day long.
Mm,
But it was just kind of a way for me to save a lot of money, because you're doing 15, 20 deals a year. That
right.
adds up. Now the gear to acquire all that costs a lot of money too. But now what I found was I'm a really good landscape photographer. Real estate, and I can admit that it'll get the job done, but I think my clients deserve a little bit more. So it's easier to hire it out.
Sure.
One thing I didn't realize is that how much time it takes to go through and post process the pictures.
Right.
And
Oh yeah.
I
Hold it.
become I become so focused on getting the picture just right. Sometimes it'll take me an hour just to get the image just right,
Yes.
and I don't have 25 hours for a listing to do that. So it's actually worth the money to pay somebody that knows what they're doing with that.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have a skill set for the landscaping, which you clearly do. I see your photos on social media. There's a specific skill that you have when you're able to take a photo, because you see lines, you see angles, you see spacing, the way objects are spaced throughout your camera lens. And so even though you say you're not a great photographer for real estate, I would probably beg to differ, because you can still apply a lot of the same skills that you do for landscaping into real estate. And I think it's awesome that you're able to add that value to your clients.
Thank you. And actually, and the cool thing is that so on my higher end listings, I'll hire out. If there is a certain time of the day that, or if there's a sunrise or a sunset that a photographer can't make it out, I can always go out there, and if my clients don't like the pictures that are taken, I can always go back and be the
Yeah,
hero.
you go out and take care of business.
Absolutely. And the cool thing about photography is now my partner, Mark Winkler and Liz Rincon, Mark used to put out a calendar for 15 years of historic pictures of Point Loma and Ocean Beach. But we ran out of historic pictures. I mean, there's only so many historic pictures before rerunning the same ones. We didn't want to do that. So
Sure.
with my pictures, we thought, hey, let's take a new, fresh approach and give this an updated version of Point Loma and Ocean Beach. So now we put out a calendar every year. Should be coming out late October, early November, which gets delivered to everybody in Point Loma.
Really?
Yeah, about 17,000 of them.
And it has your photos on there?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And for me, I take the pictures for myself. I don't really take it for anybody else. I don't do it for fame, fortune. Fortune's not, it's just too much work. I do it for myself, but it's kind of a grassroots way of promoting myself.
Sure.
Other than just real estate. I mean, I have other interests.
Well, what's cool is the fact that because of your photos, you have your own identity, your own brand because of that. We interviewed a ton of agents, and actually speaking with some of the leadership, when we mentioned your name, we talked about your photos, and it was just it's really cool, because whether you know it or not, people are going to remember that, or if someone hires you to be their agent and you have a photo and they like it, and they're like, hey, check out this awesome photo. By the way, he's my realtor. You start to have that kind of your branding follow you. People know you to have that skill set. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And also for my clients as a closing gift.
So tell me about that. What does that look like?
Big, they can pick whatever picture they want, and I have it put on metal. Oh, it's awesome. Awesome. I mean, well, they get to choose the picture, so they can't complain that they don't like the picture. So, but putting it on metal, and it's going to be hanging in their home forever, and it's going to be a talking piece.
Good. So, smart. That's very smart.
Yeah, I mean, plus I can write it off as my business. I mean, typically for real estate, you can only write off $25, but this is branded as marketing, so I can write all that off. Attach my card to the back, and people won't forget it.
Yeah. Have you ever had somebody, call you up on that? Like, hey, my friend, or whatever I saw, or, I saw your photo at some gallery or something like that?
All the time, actually. In fact, early this morning, I had a lady contact me. I mean, I do sell my pictures. I don't advertise it. I don't have a website for it. Again, if people want my pictures, they'll find me.
Yeah,
That's kind of the way I feel.
that's great.
But I can't get pulled off into a whole different tangent and make that a side. It's kind of a side business, but it's not something that's my main focus. Real
Sure.
estate is my main focus.
Of course. Well, you're crushing it with real estate. I mean, obviously 20, 30 million per year, about every year since, you started. What do you feel you attribute that success to?
Relationships. For me, relationships with my clients and fellow agents. A lot of agents kind of miss the point that they're my clients as well. So having open, honest, clear lines of communication uh, just really makes a difference in every transaction. And it's in hard work. I mean, you can't get around the hard work.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you have to day in, day out, put in effort, and get on podcasts like this. So up early, right, to get going. And I know you have your kids. You have two kids. Your home life balance. That's a whole different thing as well, right? So you have your work. You have to juggle and balance your clients, and then you have your home. You have your family.
Yeah, and so especially with the whole COVID thing, it's been a challenge. I think for everyone, it's been a challenge. Uh, Kids are 15 and 20, so they pretty much hang out in their rooms all day with their phones and computers. So it kind of keeps the peace. But
Right.
it luckily luckily we're in the age to where we can do things remotely. And but one thing is, I miss going into the office. I miss the
Oh.
camaraderie. I miss broker caravan. I just miss talking to people and being in front of people.
It's like kids miss going to school, right? It's that we miss going and hanging out with our peers and hanging out with our partners and interacting and actually getting to socialize like we're made to.
Yeah, we're social creatures, and so this is foreign for everybody, I think, except for the introverts. They're loving it.
Well, what's funny is I'm actually having conversations with introverts, and they're like, I am an introvert, but now I feel like with COVID, this whole new side of me is blossoming, and I'm dying for this interaction.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully in due time we'll be beyond this and kind of get back to work again. I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, me too, man. And in your journey through real estate, did you ever have like this? Something you discovered that you just thought, man, I really didn't know this about real estate, and man, is this something crazy?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing that it really struck me was it takes longer than most people realize. I mean,
Mm.
it takes a while. I mean, most people think that you come into real estate and you're just going to make piles of money. It just doesn't, unless you're very lucky or you have a strong sphere of influence that are very wealthy. It takes a long time. And I'd figure probably 10 months to a year to really get comfortable and get going. And when you're first starting off, you have to treat this like a business.
Yes.
A lot of people just think that they can do it part time. To be effective, you have to do this full time, day in,
Right.
day out.
Right. And so, what does that look like for you? You're shifting. Talk to me a little bit, or paint a picture of what work was like for you prior to COVID, and then how have you adapted to the current situation?
Prior to COVID, I'd be in the office pretty much every day, and then doing open houses on the weekend. I've focused mostly on listings,
Okay.
and my other partner Liz, she'll do buyers and listings. I'll do buyers as well, but
Mhm.
listings is what my main focus has been.
Okay.
Uh, and so for me, it was talking with other realtors, networking that way, finding out what new homes are coming on the market. Bouncing ideas off of them. What are they seeing? What are they feeling?
Sure.
Now with COVID, it's all Zoom and it's kind of impersonal and doesn't really. It accomplishes about the same thing, but it doesn't in my book as far as just having that human interaction. I used to open houses. I mean, I love to talk to people and I
Uh-huh.
love to find out where they're from, what they're looking for, and just and try and connect with them. And that's kind of the challenge now is we can't have open houses.
Yeah. What's interesting? I did see, and I don't know, and you may or may not know the rules on this, but I did see somebody's, and I won't say who, but I did see a few open house signs over the weekend, and it said by appointment only. But
That's how they get around it.
okay, I guess they're just, they're just at the house and they're saying, hey, or maybe they're just dropping those off and it's a form of advertisement.
I can't really comment on what they're doing because I have no idea, but I think it's just it's free advertisement out there
Sure.
to get your name. Not something I choose to do. I mean, but whatever works to get their listing sold, I guess, within reason. But
Right.
yeah, we can't do open houses, and it has to be by appointment. We have to have the PED form signed by any entrant that's coming in. So
Right.
that's kind of made it a challenge.
No, and I was just like, I don't think I've ever been so happy to see an open house sign. I was like, oh my God. It made me realize how much I missed those signs. But then before I remember weekends, I live in Carlsbad, I would see just signs.
Oh, every corner.
Every corner, like flooding, and now I'm like, wow, these signs have been gone out of my life for such a long time. I forgot what it was like to even see one.
Yeah. I used to love putting them out because it's free advertisement. Once you pay for the signs, you've got those, and you get them out there. I don't miss putting them out right
now. I think there's like a service on that. I think you can pay a guy and they'll go out, put every sign they get put out is like $5 or $10. I don't know, but
yeah, but I get really anal on where I want my signs just right. They got to be pointed just right. And,
yes.
And thinking about, okay, when the car's driving by, what angle are they going to see that at? So,
sure, the photographer in you is like just picturing what the drivers will picture, and you want to steer them the right way, right?
Exactly.
Well, cool. So as you started, real estate, now you realize, oh my gosh, it took a lot longer than I thought. What other advice would you have for somebody coming up, someone getting into real estate, or someone pretty new? Because I know several people who started their real estate business, a few months before COVID, and so it's like, it's got to be challenging. But what advice would you give somebody like that?
Be guarded with how you spend your marketing dollars. Don't just shotgun it out there and hope something's going to stick. Be very direct on what you want to achieve and where you want to achieve it. Don't be the San Diego expert. It's okay to know all about San Diego, but you don't have to know everything about it. Mm-hmm. Focus on an area. I think that's kind of the key a lot of agents don't realize is that, and it's hard when you're first starting off. You go anywhere. It doesn't matter. But once you become more established and once you start marketing yourself, focus on one area and be that local area expert.
That's cool. I'm a big believer in that. In fact, I have the whole way I got into videography and real estate specifically was because I had started a online publication based out of Carmel Valley. We had this whole hyper local niche market that we were really tapping into, and it's still the publication is still alive today. It's still publishing content, but what I realized is, man, if a realtor took on this approach, they could really launch their business and really help them create a good foundation. And it sounds like that's what you're saying.
Yes, that's exactly it. And one other thing I'd like to add, and probably the most important thing, know your contracts, especially the purchase agreement contract. You know it inside and out, and it'll save you a lot of time and probably a lot of money just by knowing that. Plus, again, it shows that you are an expert in your field.
Right, of course. And how are you standing out as a local expert? And that might be a question you already answered indirectly with your photography and your calendars and all that. But how are you standing out as a local expert?
Well, again, it's having great relationship with other realtors, not just my company, but all companies that are in Point Loma. That when I submit an offer on behalf of a buyer, they know they're going to have a hassle-free transaction with me. Not saying with the clients or whatever, but with me, it's going to be straightforward and it's going to be easy. And again, people know me and they know my reputation, and I try and guard that carefully. But yeah, photography, definitely that's kind of set me apart. But also, I am on the board of directors for the Peninsula YMCA.
Okay.
I am also president of the Peninsula Breakfast Club. So getting out and for the Peninsula YMCA, that was kind of a no-brainer. For many years, I've wanted to donate my time and money to a
Uh-huh.
worthy cause, and I didn't feel like just throwing money out and hoping
Sure.
that's going to work. I wanted to see the impact of that, of my time and my effort, and that is a near and dear cause. I mean, my wife and I have been members of the Y since 1991.
Wow.
And so that builds relationships there. And plus, my breakfast club is a networking club. And so that's sometimes I can get 3 or 4 deals out of that every year. So that, again, it's just immersing yourself in the community, and people know you for something other than, say, real estate. I mean, obviously, I want them to know my name. And if they hear my name, it's going to either be synonymous with real estate or photography.
Nice. And have you been able to leverage video right now in the sense of like how you communicate? Sure, it could be a professional video for your property, but aside from that, have you been able to, maneuver through COVID using technology like video, FaceTime, that kind of
So FaceTime has been really helpful, especially when I have clients that are from out of town that can't make it here. I can walk through the property and I can show it to them in real time, so they can get a feel for the layout of the whole floor plan of the house and the backyard and all the other aspects with it. So it's really become valuable,
thing.
and I see it in the future becoming more and more valuable, especially with COVID, especially with the professional side. You can brand yourself that way and reach a lot more people.
Hmm. So you mean just like kind of you walking through the property with your phone and filming that and then sharing that?
Correct.
Yeah, I'm a believer. That's what I don't know if you're. I think you're a part of that Facebook group, but I'll have to add you. But I'm a big pusher in that. Like it's so easy to do. You just have to get a few under your belt, and then you're just like, oh gosh, I can do this for a lot of different things around real estate and create content, especially right now.
Right. I feel that it's going to be really relevant, from here on out.
Yeah, that's great. I have to see some of your walkthroughs. Are those public or are they all kind of private?
They're private.
Oh,
They're
okay,
private.
got it. Got it. I was gonna say because if you do have a few, I'd love to take a look at that. But that's something I'm also really encouraging agents to do, which is if you can go out and do a walkthrough that may not be for just one client, it could be for
the masses.
Yeah, for the masses. Then you basically leverage your time once, you go out there, film it, and now you have it. If somebody asks, hey, can I see the property? Say, yeah, check out this walkthrough real quick. And then if you have any questions, let me know. And then you kind of go to you can weed out the true buyers, right?
Absolutely. And I think it's just a step beyond Matterport, a 3D. It just really can capture not only the house, but the whole neighborhood as well.
Let's talk about your mindset, your personal development, what you've created as a foundation to your success, kind of adding on to what we talked about earlier. You mentioned Maximum Achievement by Brian Tracy. Anything other than that book that you want to add to that list that really has helped you to create this mindset, this top producer type mindset?
Yeah, another book is The 4 Agreements.
Nice, like that.
That's a really, really good book. And also How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
I like that.
Yeah.
Those are good.
Yeah, those have been really impactful for me, and it really helps again with my mindset and also my communication skills.
Do you find that all this that we're talking about in terms of mindset, in terms of being that provider for your family, being a leader in your family, do you feel like having this type of mindset with those types of books has kind of trickles into your kids' lives, or are they impacted by that as well?
They're teenagers. So actually my daughter's 20, but yes and no. I mean, they see what I do, but they don't really see everything that I do. I mean, they're not with me when I'm out showing property or writing contracts. Right. And I mean, they hear me on the phone all the time. But and I always tell them, what you think about, what you dwell upon, becomes your reality most of the time. So wherever your focus is, and you can become super hyper focused on what you want to achieve, you can achieve in a lot less time than you think. And just by setting goals and having a target to aim for.
Yeah, I'm a new dad. Well, not new, but my oldest is 4 years old, and my youngest is gonna turn 10 months. And I'm always curious what other dads do, how other parents do it, and kind of instilling in your kids that winner mindset, that you're not going to settle for not being mediocre and not really pushing yourself beyond your current level of success.
Yeah, well, I see it especially in my daughter. I mean, she is in her junior year of college and getting like a 4.43.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, she's just really, really focused on finishing college. I mean, she entered college as a sophomore pretty much, just because she had so many AP credits, and so that's going to propel her. I think just to her focus and her drive that way is going to propel her into the stratosphere as far as whatever she wants to do. Now, do you have boys or girls?
I have 2 girls.
2 girls. Okay. Get a book called Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters.
Okay.
That will help you. Read it now and then kind of periodically read it as they grow up. It'll help you as a dad. It'll help them as well, having you as their dad.
I love that. Who wrote that? Or who wrote it?
Hold on just a. You know what? I lent that book out. I'd have to look it up. I could get back to you on it.
I can Google it. No biggie. Yeah. No biggie at all. I'll definitely look into that. I feel like so responsible, right? You're just like, oh, these I got these beautiful girls who, I I want to be a great father to, because you can mess them up if you don't do a good job. So
well, they don't come with instruction manuals, as you found out, and so my best advice is enjoy them now. I mean, the days are long, but the years are short. And it goes by faster than most people realize. There's a commercial with years ago, a little girl in a driver's seat and saying, "Daddy, can I have the keys to the car?" And all of a sudden it blinks and she's like 16 and starts to drive again. It happens that fast.
Sure.
You don't really realize it every little day because you just don't see the progress. But you wait 10 years from now, it's going to go by really quick. So enjoy every little stage.
Well, I feel like your family's an inspiration for you. Is that right?
Absolutely. That's what I do everything for.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's my drive in life.
And has that always been something you felt, as a kid? You're like, hey, I'm gonna be successful. I'm gonna, do everything for my family. Did you always see yourself in that, or is this something that has evolved because of, a growing family?
A little of both. I mean, when I was bartending at a hotel here on Mission Bay, and the money was decent. I called it the golden handcuffs because I can get by, but couldn't really just get ahead. And especially knowing that my kids are going to be growing, and I've got college to pay for, and
right.
Again, I felt my talents were being wasted, and so being a strong provider was always ingrained in me. Failure wasn't an option. Have I failed as a dad? Absolutely, pretty much every day. But I try and learn from it, and
right.
And hope my kids and wife are going to be patient with me.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think in just the little time that I've been a dad, I feel like my kids don't expect perfection. They might, express frustration when I don't, I don't give them that perfection they're looking for, but they're not necessarily, as a being, they're not looking for perfection. They're going to understand. They're going to forgive me. They're going to, and I would almost certainly say the same for you. Even though you have teenagers, I feel like I remember as a kid, as a teenager, I would see my parents and then be like, they're humans too, right? When you're a little kid, your parents are almost like gods to you, right? Because they give you food, they give you support, they give you love. But as they get older, that might become less less of a way they communicate or express themselves. But I don't.
Oh, you're an idiot.
Right?
Yes. You go from Superman to an idiot pretty quick, but
Yeah.
it'll come around again as well. So I'll
Yeah.
survive.
Yeah.
I don't know if they will.
What I'm saying, I guess what I'm trying to say is that your example is what is going to stick with them, right? So your leadership, your tenacity, your never going to give up type of approach to life, and focusing on what you want in life is really going to give them that long-lasting ideal, right? Like, okay, I remember my dad. So if like your daughter's going through some challenges in college, she may not realize it, but she's going to have that example in you. At least that's the way I see it.
Yeah, I'm trying to instill a great work ethic and how to approach life like that. I mean,
Right.
I told my daughter when she's 18, she's on her own. I mean, nobody owes you anything. When you're 18, you technically are on your own. But
Sure.
I mean, I'll support her any way that I can, and the love will never go away.
Yeah.
But trying to let her know that it's going to be her life to make whatever she wants. I mean, there's no handouts here. I mean, I will support her again through college, but after that, she's going to have to make some smart decisions.
Yeah.
And at her age, I was not making smart decisions, so she's already ahead of me on that.
Nice, man. Well, you're a great dad. I appreciate you, sharing that side of you, and I know it's a personal thing, so I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I'll still be in real estate. I mean, in 16 years, it would be hard for me to give up. I enjoy it so much, and I've established a business for myself. So I see myself probably traveling more. Hopefully, this whole COVID thing will go away, and I'm really looking forward to traveling.
Uh-huh.
And and then once my kids are out of the house, I'll have that time and freedom to do so.
I like that. Well, I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Well, where can people go to find out more information about you? Where are you very active? I know you have a lot of photos that you post. So where are you most active?
So Facebook under Chris R. Mannerino, and under Instagram at Chris.Mannerino are probably the easiest places to find me. We're in the process of recreating a website right now, so that should be done hopefully in the next month or so.
I like that. Okay, I'm going to put that on here so people can see and they can connect with you. And there you go. That's on there now. Well, fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Chris. You've been fun to chat with, and I appreciate your knowledge and the inspiration you've left all of us with here today.
Well, thank you, David. I appreciate the opportunity.